Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about the exciting new MacBook Pro. It's been a while since Apple have updated this particular laptop, and I have been waiting for several years for this. So if you wait until the end of the video, then I will show you and talk about this, and these. But obviously, for those of you who are only interested in the discussion about the laptop, I'll start with that, and then I'll talk about the cases and covers, because maybe some of you are not interested in it or just bore you. So just to put it out there first before I start, because a lot of people will say, well, you haven't done the specs comparison and this and that and the other. There are plenty of YouTubers who are specifically making videos about the specs and performances and all of that when it comes to the new laptops and gadgets and equipments. I'm not one of those. I will talk about what it's like for an average Joe and normal user who uses this laptop for his everyday life, work, travel, editing, everything. So this is a MacBook Pro that I've had since 2016. So it's 2021. It's 5 years now. And this one has the touch bar, which illuminates here. So depending on the application you're using, it changes. Most of you who have seen Apple laptops will know that what this is. So I bought this in 2016 and I chose the highest spec that I could do. So it's a Core i7 with 4 gigs of RAM, I think, and half a terabyte of storage space. But for me, this isn't a professionally used device. You know, filmmaking and editing and high-speed graphics performances and, I don't know, the stuff that professionals do with their machines. So this is kind of like middle range, but slightly higher than the average spec. I think I paid 2,600 something for it, pounds. I thought it was very expensive, but you don't buy a laptop every year, you buy it every few years. So if you buy a good one, it will last you for a long time. This is something I keep talking about in all my videos, that people who buy cheap things, they end up spending the same amount of money over the years, and they have a lot of pain and suffering, and they're unhappy because they've always had the substandard, poor quality product. So you should buy one item instead of 5 and choose the best one you can afford. So I chose this, and as you may remember if you're an old viewer, that this machine crashed in the first month while I was traveling. I went to do a road trip around Europe and it died in Paris. So I had to buy another one in Paris to use for my trip to do all the editing. And then on the way back, I stopped in Paris, returned it, and then came to London and had it fixed because the people in the Apple store in Paris were unable to fix it. Long story, I was very pissed off at the time because it was a brand new machine. But when I came to London, fixed, done within a day. Anyway, it's never had any problems ever since. The only issue I had that I hated with this is these ports. So it has 2 USB-C ports on either side, a headphone jack, and that's it. So I had to buy so many adapters to connect so I can transfer things from my SD card or connect a USB device if it's a normal USB, but USB-C, I guess that wasn't a problem. Generally, it was a pain because every time I was traveling, I had to make sure that I had all the right things with it. The other thing I hated was the USB-C was also the power supply. So sometimes if you walk away or if you trip on the cable, it would yank either the cable out, which would be okay, but it could also damage the port or the cable itself. I have several cables, but one of them was actually bent, the USB-C, because I tripped on it. So, but this has been a very good friend and I've had a great time with it. It worked really fast until I got this. So this was released, I think, Monday or Tuesday, and I had ordered it online a while ago, like as soon as you were able to order it, and the order was going to be delivered sometime in November. But then I saw a news update on one of the tech websites saying that you can go buy it in the shop now. So I immediately went to the shop, bought it, and then I cancelled my online order. In terms of the shape of this, I have to say I prefer the sleek, beautiful shape of the old one. I don't know if you can see the difference, but this one is more like a block, and this one is more, the old one is more curved. But I guess the best thing is this one has this magical thing that Steve Jobs created, and then Apple stooges decided that, oh, we're going to put a USB-C. This is no good. This was the best thing. So if you trip on it, it comes off. It's magnetic. And I love this because that means you are not worried about your laptop getting pulled away and yanked. It has two USB-C ports on one side and one on the other. It also has an HDMI port, which I don't know, but maybe if you're connecting to a Windows monitor, you may need this, or connecting to a TV. This slot, the magical slot that we all missed, this is to put your little magical memory cards so I can film these videos and then share them with you. Anyway, let's talk about why I love this machine so much. First of all, the screen is just beautiful, really, really beautiful quality. I've had that friendly companion for 5 years, but this one, I've had it for 24 hours or more, and I'm completely in love with it. They've taken away the touch bar, which people said that was useless. I used it a lot because in editing or anything, it was very useful, but I guess I could live without it. The keyboard is fantastic. The other one, I like to type quite fast, and I try to touch type, but that one sometimes had problems. You would touch something and it wouldn't type. This one is a very, very good keyboard. Second thing is that the laptop itself is almost the same size as the old one, but they've increased the screen size within this by reducing the bezels. The camera has the little notch around it, so the menu bars are on either side of it, which is quite nice because you get more space on the computer. And for this machine I paid $2,400, which I think is cheaper than the last one, even though this one is now a newer model. So in this one I chose the 16 gig RAM, and I chose the MacBook Pro M1 Pro rather than the Pro Max or Max. So rather than the first one, I chose the second one. The top of the range adds, I don't know, £500 additional to the price. I'm never going to even notice the difference because I'm not going to utilize it. So I thought I should get something that works for me and gives me what I need. I chose 1 terabyte of hard disk space and 16 gig of RAM because I think that will help me. The thing that completely blew me away in this laptop is the sound quality. I don't know how Apple have done this, because it is some kind of wizardry, some magic that they have done. It's a sleek little thin laptop. It produces bass. It produces amazing sound. Yesterday I was watching some movie online just to compare the sound and things, and I had my Bang & Olufsen headphones on, and the sound was great, as the sound that I always expect. And then I took those off to see what it's like, and oh my god, it felt like I had several speakers around me, even though this was on my lap. Don't know how they're beaming this sound sideways and then back to you. And then I was listening to some Apple Music, and with songs that I've recorded in spatial audio, I could actually feel spatial audio on a laptop. How have they done it? Speed-wise, it is fantastic. So this laptop was quite fast, but this thing is amazing. You click on something and there it is. Yesterday I was editing one of my videos on Final Cut Pro, which is what I use. And I think my editing speed was probably twice as fast as it is normally. And I think it just really improves the experience and the pleasure of working on the machine when it's doing things so quickly. I was editing, clipping, moving things around. There was no lag, there was no weight of things being pulled from one external drive onto the machine. One other thing that I found out yesterday while I was transferring data from this machine to this, because there's a migration assistant that you can use, so you run it on both machines, it connects to the other machine. So I connected them using a USB-C cable, thinking that it would be really fast. And then it told me that it could be faster if you use a Thunderbolt cable. And I didn't realize that the normal USB-C cables are not Thunderbolt cables. Luckily, I had one old one lying around, which I didn't even know was a Thunderbolt cable, because once it said it could be faster, then I went around, took out all my cables, plugged them in one by one to see which one. And one of them turned out to be a Thunderbolt cable. And gosh, the transfer speed was amazing. So when it finished the migration, I opened this laptop. It was exactly like my old laptop. So I couldn't even tell that, I had a new laptop in terms of the settings and layout. So that was Apple's perfection. The thing that I'm constantly blown away by is the sound quality. It is just insane. I think so many of these laptops out there which have Bang & Olufsen and Harman Kardon speakers and all that, they portray this amazing sound, but it's not, especially coming from a fussy audiophile like me who just wants to have the best quality sound. I was like, wow, Apple have really done it. Other than that, I don't know what to say. There's a MacBook Pro engraving on the back, which I don't really like. It looks a bit tacky, because if you have this device in your hand, you don't need to tell people that it's a MacBook Pro. Everyone knows it's a MacBook. This one I prefer, the simple, slim. I guess if I put it on top of that, it is slightly bigger. So maybe that 14-inch size is somewhere reflected in the case as well. So if you want to look at the comparison stats and blah, 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 you can go check out so many other vlogs. I'm just talking about an average Joe, what my experience is and what I think. So for me, fast browsing, fast downloading, so that depends on your browser and your Wi-Fi. Obviously the Wi-Fi unit itself needs to be fast enough, but then obviously your broadband needs to be fast. So I have the fastest broadband you can get in the UK, but when I compare these two, this one loads pages so much faster. Emails, everything, fantastic speed. Like, when you click on something to reply and you have that little lag where you like half a second while it comes up, this thing you click and it's there. It's just such an amazing experience. Usually I used to open Final Cut Pro on this and then wait for a few seconds for it to load up. And this, you click on it and bang, it's there. And it's such a nice experience. So that's my comparison of these two machines. Obviously, I can go through the technical specs and speeds and all that, but I'm not one of those guys, I just talk about stuff as a normal person. What it's like to have something that works in your everyday life. Right, next thing I want to talk about are cases. So, let's talk about, where should we start? Should we talk about this? No, let's talk about this first. So I saw this on the Apple website and I thought, looks very beautiful. I like this burgundy color, and the inside also in the pictures looks like it's suede. So very good quality. Don't know if you can see it in the video. There's a little pocket inside, and if you look at this, it looks like it's grained leather, and it's von Holzhausen, the designer, I suppose. It has a pocket on the outside. So this, I really like the look of it, but when I read what this is made of, I had to buy it. This is made from recycled plastic bottles. It looks like leather, feels like leather, it's really beautiful, and when you put the laptop in it, it just slides in, there's a magnet, closes and locks it. So I bought another one for the new machine, thinking, I want another one, but I didn't think that the new one would be slightly bigger than the old one. So I bought the same size, and for the first few times I had to really shove it in, but now I think it's stretched a little. But I suppose they'll bring out one for the 14-inch. I thought the 13 and the 14-inch would be the same. However, look at this baby. So this is an old-fashioned folio for people who used to work in the city or in the financial market, financial services, stock exchange, all of those, any kind of executive business people. And they would carry all their paperwork in this. This particular one is made from the best quality leather. It has this beautiful clasp that goes on here. So when you're walking around in a nice suit with this, it looks amazing. So when I go to work, I take my laptop in this. I'll show you the inside. So the inside has one little pocket where you can put your cards or something. There is actually a card in here. Oh, that's the price tag. That shows that I have never used this pocket before because I never even took it out. But I usually carry my laptop in this because you can put headphones, pens, other things that you need. Obviously you can't put your charger because it would just make it look really ugly. But if you have a USB-C cable and you have a charger at work, you can put that in. But this is the bee's knees, as we call it in England, like the best thing. It is made by Ralph Lauren. As you know, Ralph Lauren is my god, and I believe in him and his things. I'm kidding. But Ralph Lauren makes amazing stuff, and this is very good quality leather. The more you use it, the better it will get. It was very expensive. I won't say how much because you can go look it up on their website. But it is something you buy once and you keep it for the rest of your life. So the laptops will change, but this will be there. So I use that for work, and these ones at home, or just, I don't know, going to a coffee shop and sitting with friends and things like that. I also have this, which I wanted to show you since I was showing you that, which I sometimes carry inside it. So this is just a notebook, and I am one of those old-fashioned people. I have a fountain pen, and I write with ink, and I use this. So this is just a beautiful Togo leather case that has this ring binder inside, and then you have beautiful, beautiful quality paper inside, which you can write on. And I bought this from Hermes. If you're French, it's Hermes. If you're American, Hermes. But Hermes is a very, very good brand for buying leather products and briefcases and things like that. Obviously quite pricey, but you don't buy these things every year. You buy it once in your life, maybe twice in your life, and you use it. But every time you're at work and you're in a meeting or a board meeting or anything, and you open this, and the quality of the paper, and it's just another experience. You feel good and happy yourself, and others who look at this envy it. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and if you're out in the market looking for a MacBook Pro 14-inch, don't think twice and get your hands on one. Obviously, this is not sponsored by Apple. I'm a nobody. Apple probably don't even know I exist. So this is just me telling you my feelings, what I think. So until the next one.